Told to dress better for a job that requires getting dirty. Okay, here's a bit of background. I've worked in construction and service for the last 15 years. I recently gave up that career for a job in special effects for TV and movies. Last year, I started production with people I've worked with in the past. I'm a known quantity, and my smartass attitude usually precedes me. This production, which isn't out yet, so the details will be sparse, is mostly set on a train. This set has to wag, shake, and wiggle like a real train would. So we built a heavy teeter-totter on wheels. All heavy gauge steel, casters, and bearings. Now, these gimbals, common name for the motion platform, have a tendency to make noise, which, as you would imagine, would affect the production. So one of my jobs was to crawl under the set on the concrete floor and grease the joints, tighten the bolts, etc. Safety checks were daily. This usually left me somewhat dusty and dirty through the day. Typically, I'd be wearing Carhartt pants and a shirt, both black of course, gotta stay hidden in the dark as much as possible. Most film departments that have to do something physical quite often wear black on black, so anything else is abnormal. This is where we lead into my MC. One day I got a small hole in my shirt, just a little smaller than a dime, right in the front. So the first assistant, a friend of mine that I've worked with before, says I really need to dress better as there should be an image we should attain. I just look at him unbelievingly for a second and he re-insists. So I agree. I usually agree to things immediately to keep drama down in the workplace. I immediately know what I'm going to do for the rest of the week. This was on a Tuesday. The next day I show up in my best dress clothes, shirt, tie, dress pants, and dress shoes. Completely 100% wholly overdressed. Nobody dresses for a wedding in any film department, unless it's a theme day, like Tropical Shirt Friday. Dressed like this, I cannot do my job, so I just direct coworkers on how to do it. I spent the next 3 days dressing like that until the SPFX coordinator mentioned that maybe I should dress down now, as I had made my point. I also got a lot of compliments from more than a few people, and every couple of Fridays people would come in with suits for the formal Fridays. It was nice not getting my hands dirty, but spending close to 50 hours with a tie and dress shoes is something I'd like to avoid for a while.
First things first, I would kill to have this man's job. I would love to work on a set of literally anything. Let me get that perfectly clear. I would love to work on a set of anything. I think it would be so fascinating. But the way this guy did it and how everyone was seemingly like, okay, we get it. They're really accepting of his malicious compliance, which was pretty cool. And I like how they turned it into something afterwards. But just imagine having this type of job where you're crawling around getting dusty. Let's say you're a mechanic and you're working in your shop and someone goes, oh, you got a hole in your shirt, and you come in the next day dressed in a full business suit, still doing the grease monkey thing, getting your fingers and hands dirty inside a car engine. Imagine that being the job instead of him standing there and dictating where people have to go or what they have to do. This is obviously two different scenarios where one, he probably had some people working underneath him, and on the other hand, another one's a mechanic, and they constantly always get their hands dirty. I'm just speaking from experience. My brother has never had a clean hand for the entirety I've known him, so I've never seen his hands not darkened with the grease of a car. This is the same brother who threatened me to never become a mechanic, and here I am, on YouTube, with an animation degree, doing nothing with it. On the reels though, I still don't know anything about cars. I know that definitely headlight fluid is not a thing.
Berate me in front of my principal for not communicating with you about your child's grades? Enjoy embarrassing yourself. That's a mouthful of a title. So flashback to my first year of teaching. I was a 21-year-old middle school teacher, fresh out of college and extremely green. I was admittedly shaky when it came to parent communication. It is quite intimidating to speak to a parent as an equal when you are less than 10 years older than their children. Many of them were old enough to be my parent, which made things a little awkward for me. Enter Mom. Her daughter, Diva, did absolutely nothing in my class except stir up drama, be extremely rude and obnoxious, and generally anything but do her work. Now, student grades are easily accessible at all times through online parent portal, so I've always been of the opinion that parents should never be surprised by grades at the end of the quarter. So the end of the second quarter is drawing to an end, and I get an abrasive email from a mom demanding a parent-teacher conference with an administrator present. Of course, teachers are instructed to meet with a parent anytime they want a conference. One of my assistant principals sat in on the meeting. From the moment Mom sat across from me, I knew where Diva got her attitude. Mom was belligerent, accusing, and rude. She began to angrily accuse me of causing her daughter to fail. Somehow my fault. Basically, I should have done everything under the sun to make sure she didn't fail. I should have contacted her early. I should have sent her home extra copies. I should have been checking Diva's agenda, etc. While admittedly, I should have called her early. Her chewing me out in front of my boss was the most embarrassing moment of my career. My assistant principal worked out a compromise that went like this. Since Mom didn't want a lot of phone calls, apparently a busy person, it was agreed that I would write a note to Mom and Diva's agenda every Friday about her grade and her missing work. Embarrassed and chastised, I could barely look my boss in the eye. I resolved that I would comply to the fullest, so much so that it would be annoying. I would be above reproach, so that she could never berate me like that again. However, I never could have imagined the incredible events that followed. In the weeks that followed, I not only wrote in Diva's agenda, but I printed off a list of her missing assignments, progress reports, and letters home, and stapled them to her agenda. I did this every week, without fail, and Diva's behavior did not change. By the end of the third quarter, she was missing 8 assignments and was failing my class, yet again. Lo and behold, I get an email from Mom demanding a parent-teacher conference with the principals present. She arrives and starts in on me again about how I'm unprofessional and how I'm not supporting her daughter and how I had yet again failed to notify her that her daughter was failing. Then the realization struck me. She had never looked at the agenda. I painstakingly stapled progress reports, letters, and missing work in her agenda for nearly 3 months, and she never once checked. A grin broke across my face. Objection! Can we look at Diva's agenda? There's something I think you should see. The mom leaves the room and comes back with Diva's agenda. I begin flipping through the agenda, showing her every single page that I wrote on or stapled. Now, if you'll notice, I have written in Diva's agenda and stapled progress reports, letters to you, and a list of missing work into her agenda every single week since we last spoke, as per our agreement. Are you telling me that you didn't check her agenda once? The mom's blood drains from her face and she realizes her credibility with my principal is now gone. Now, at this point in the quarter, it's too late for your child to turn and make up the work. Please be sure to be checking your child's agenda every Friday for an update concerning her progress. In order for your child to be successful, you need to be involved. Do you have any questions? Mom's stammering with excuses and apologies for not checking. By this point, I could tell that the principal was stifling laughter, so I knew that I had won. Mom left very quickly, and I never received one of those harsh emails again. Diva's behavior didn't improve at all, but I rode the satisfaction of the W all the way through the summer.
Now, I love how the teacher took care of this, because she just basically slammed this typical Karen who thinks her daughter could do no wrong. And it was time to finally take this person and shut that shit down. No one needs that in their life, and honestly, the mother needs to learn to be a better mother instead of a better complainer. And actually, I don't know, start taking care of her kid. Become a part of their world. Something. Do something that makes the child feel like you care and that you're invested. You need to invest in your children. You can't just, wow, you're on your own, kid. Here's a pack of cigarettes and a $20 bill. You got this. Sometimes I worry about the future because I don't think parents know how to parent anymore. And it's getting to that point. It's definitely getting to that point. And I just don't know where this world is heading. And I hope it's going to be in a better place. Someone finally just wakes the fuck up and goes, oh shit, we've been doing everything wrong. Quickly, light the flame. Alert the others. And it just gets better from here. I need humanity to start getting better. I don't know what's going on with my hair here. It's got this like little Superman curl thing going on. I'm just gonna keep it there. We're gonna keep it there. I don't know what that is, but that's a thing now. I want to know what you guys think about these stories. My favorite one is the first one involving the engineer technician because it's just fascinating to me. I'd love to be able to just stand on a set and watch people do things. And like obviously I'd be eventually getting patient and want to do stuff too, but I would love to be on a set of anything because I think it's just fascinating. I think the whole workflow there in those places are just fascinating. So I want to know what you guys think. Tell me in the comment section below. Again, you guys have been beautiful and awesome. Don't forget to leave a subscribe because for some reason y'all watch really good, but you don't follow. So I mean, if you hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell icon, you never know what could happen. You just might get met by Yogi Bear. I'm just putting that out there. So I'm just saying you might. I'm not saying definitely, but you should try hitting that like button just in case. So I thank you guys very much for watching. I thank you very much for following along. You guys have been great. You guys have been fantastic. And as usual, as always, my friends, stay frosty and keep moving forward. This way.